Hello and welcome back, and today we're going to do a picking video, and that one is going to be on this Chubb Cruiser. Now I've got a key for this one. There's the bit in, and he works nice and smoothly. These old lever padlocks, although he's obviously lived a life outside, been a bit of a workhorse, they work so nice and smooth. They don't really get gunked up too badly, sorry. And I got a spare key with this one, so I was able to make this tensioner. Now that tensioning tip, because I saw a few videos on people making these, but they didn't seem to mention how wide that tip was. There you go, it's about 4.5 mil, and that helps to know you don't want to make it too small or indeed too big. So I'm also going to use this little device I made. I saw a similar one on Chris Capoon's channel, and I looked in the workshop at what bits and bobs I had and came up with this. So that's an M8 bolt. We've got a little aluminium spacer section there, and we've got a couple of washers which go on there, another aluminium spacer, and a nut on the end which we just put on there. Put that key in the middle of the two washers, tighten the whole thing up. Only needs to be hand tight. I did think about Loctiting this when I first made it, but it actually comes in useful because you can change the keys when you can use this for other locks. And the picking wire I've got is a 1.6 mil picking wire, but I was playing about with thinning out these tips. I think this one is just over 1 mil. So it's quite thin, but you've got a nice thick shaft, so it feels quite rigid. Anyway, let's try and get this picked on camera. So I was told, and I don't quite understand how it works, that sometimes with lever locks, if you get to the point where you're tensioning it and then pull the tensioner out, what that's doing is compressing the lever pack, and that can make it easier to pick. I don't yet understand the mechanics of it, but it seems to work. Yeah, and this little tensioner, the pick wire ends up sitting in that little groove there between the washers, which kind of keeps it centered. All right, a little bit of tension, pull the tensioner out a little bit, and then we'll go to the back and just try and fill these levers. I think there's 5 levers in these. They do have false gates, and I find that it either picks really quickly or you end up getting stuck in those false gates, and you have to kind of drop everything and start again. There we go, just that simple, we're open. That took, I don't know, that was like less than a minute, wasn't it? Now at this stage, I've only turned that very slightly and just enough to open him up, and I could take that out quite easily, as you'd expect. But I did find with these ones, when I first picked it, I threw the bolt fully like this, and then I couldn't get my tensioner out. It gets completely stuck in there. I'm not sure of the internal mechanics, I can't get this open to find out, but it ends up getting completely stuck, and the only way to release it is to just pull your tensioner apart, turn this around slightly, give your pick wire a bit of a wiggle, and he should come out, and then you can free your tensioner. But that's another reason not to Loctite this together, because if you get in that situation where your tensioner gets stuck, then you're not going to be able to get it out. So that's him picked. I'm not sure of the best way to pick these closed. I've heard they're easy to pick closed, but I don't think I've actually tried it. But I'll just use the key, and he's all locked up again. So here you go. It was a really, really quick pick, and surprising when you see such a beefy padlock as that, that you can pick it open really quickly. That said, sometimes when I pick it, I get caught up in those false gates, everything jams up, and I have to let off the tension and perhaps try 2 or 3 times. So you can spend about 5 minutes picking it, but the actual attempt that you pick it open tends to take just a matter of seconds, which is great. So anyway, thanks for watching today. Hope you found that interesting or useful. If you're beginning to pick levers, I highly recommend it. It is good fun, although a bit frustrating, but this particular padlock seems to be quite easy to open. I think what I might do is I might look out for another one of these cruisers, because I may get a slightly tricky one. Maybe I just got lucky with a nice easy one there. Anyway, thanks for watching today. I'll leave a little logo up there so you can hit that and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one.